Check, check, check. Mike, Mike, Mike. Guys, let me know. Can you hear me? Are we live? Yo, says Riddick Mohik. Hello, Spooky. Hello, Morpheus. Hello, Neve. HZ. Mickey Red says, well, hello again. Hello, hello. Taylor Draper. Amna. Thank you, Spooky. Guy with no face in the chat. Morpheus says, loud and clear. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Hello, Neve. Okay, Buddy says, yes, babe. Not today. Not today. Obviously, Oscar says, hello. Hello, Mickey Red again. H1 Yujit. Hello, Kayla, Somi, Sandra, Sanjeev. HP at the source. What a name. Says, hi, sir. How are we doing? We're doing well. Thank you, mate. We're doing well. Just finished the highest stream, or the first highest stream of the day. Next one's going to be 9 until 11. I can't lie. I was a little bit tired in that one. I hope you guys couldn't tell. I've got my energy back now, which is good. I've just listened to a bit of music, chilled out a bit, 15 minutes outside. So now I've got my energy back. Hopefully you guys couldn't tell that I was a little bit tired. Now I've got energy for days. So I'll try not to be too annoying. Okay, let's have a look. Nova says, sir, what paper are you using for hire later? It's the November 2019 is going to be the main one. And then depending on how we're doing for time, we might also use some from the 2020 paper as well. Both paper threes. HZ says, got my dog watching you. Oh, yeah, guys, if you haven't already, send the setups. So how long till we're starting? 3 minutes. So I know a lot of you guys have already sent the setups. Basically, we're doing a cool little thing for the community where we're sending a picture of the setup. What's the setup? It's basically a picture of, wait, let me see something. Yeah, this is an example, guys. This is an example. So send your setup for me to the email address, matt@mygcsemaths.com. We went through a bunch of them on the live the other day, so you can see a bunch of the setups. And we had a nice little cat there. So guys, if you haven't already, send your setup. We're going to be going through all of them on a very chilled out live, either on Thursday or Saturday or Sunday, which I'm going to decide and make an announcement at the end of the session tonight. Yeah, a couple of people saying they already sent it. So guys, the first batch of setups we went through, anybody who sent it on the day where we went through them, I'm going to be going through those ones in the next live. Well, we're going to do a chilled out live in the next few days. And the email to send it to, is matt@mygcsemaths.com. Like that. And he says, the cat. Exactly. Exactly. I'm expecting this to be a little bit more chilled out than the higher session. Slightly fewer people on. Actually haven't checked the TikToks all up and running. Very nice. Couple of people asking if this is still going to be helpful for AQA. Definitely, guys, definitely. Is it going to be exactly the same? Nope. But is it going to be very similar? Yeah. We're just going to go through this whole paper. And the reason I'm going through the whole paper instead of just the EdXL topics is so it's beneficial for AQA and EdXL students as well. Some of the topics you'll recognize have come up already, but I've chosen this paper because of a lot of the topics haven't come up. And even the ones which have come up could come up again. And it's good practice for other like attached topics, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're going to go through every question. Hopefully we're going to finish in about 90 minutes. Actually, guys, out of curiosity, I think most people on this live are probably resitting right now. So can we get a quick emoji? Let's go for a lightning bolt chat in the emoji if we're resitting. Guys, put a lightning bolt emoji in the chat for me if we're resitting. I think most people are resitting who are doing foundation on this stream. Yeah, guys, loads of us resetting. So Muddo's resetting. Skibbity Riz Slay, what a name, is resetting. Mickey Red, number one. Yeah, most people resetting, to be honest. What I will also say to any higher students on here, is, guys, don't take this as an opportunity to say foundation is easy. You saying foundation is easy is like me coming along and saying, like, it's very easy to get a grade 9, right? Obviously, it's easy for me to get a grade 9 because I've done A-level maths, further maths, been to university, like I've teach GCSE maths. Obviously, if you do higher, foundation is going to be a little bit easier. That's why you do higher, right? So anybody doing higher, don't say the foundation is easy. If you do, you'll be muted from the channel. It's one thing which really annoys me when people do that, because it's like, bro, what do you want, a gold star or something? Like, you're doing higher and you find foundation easy. Okay, let's go then, guys. It is now 6 minutes past. Just saw the time. We're gonna get going. You know the drill. Drop your answer in the chat for me when you are ready, and we will go through question number 1. It says, write 478 to the nearest 100. Okay, I can see loads of answers going in the chat. Ella, okay, buddy, Somi, Radik, Morpheus, everybody saying 500. Guys, you are absolutely right. Here we have a 3-digit number, 478. We have a units, tens, and hundreds column. To round it to the nearest 100, we look at the digit after the hundreds column. So we look at the 7, because it's 5 or above, we round up, turn the 4 into a 5, and then fill in the final 2 columns with placeholder zeros. And we're going to get 500. Question number 2, write down a multiple of 8 that is between 41 and 60. What do we reckon, team? Drop your answer in the chat for me when you have one. A multiple of 8 that is between 41 and 60. Gnome says 48. Modus says 56. Softly 48. Millie says 48 or 56. Somi 48. VO2 48 or 56. Yep, guys, you're absolutely right. 2 different ones we could have had for this. 48 or 56. Remember, the multiples of a number, sorry, the multiples of a number are the numbers which that number goes into, otherwise known as the times tables of that number. 8 times 6 is 48, so that works. And 8 times 7 is 56, so that one also works. Question number 3, change 1.5 kilometers into meters. What do we think, team? 1.5 kilometers into meters. Nicely done, Dennis Louise. Good work, Thomas Bates, Millie, VO2. Superb, guys. It is 1,500. We know, or we might know, that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So to go from kilometers to meters, we're going to times by 1,000. 1.5 times by 1,000 is 1,500, giving us our answer of 1,500. Question number 4, list of numbers. From the list, write down all the numbers that are powers of 3. What do we think, team? What's it going to be? Neve says, I don't get the wording for number 4. So all of the numbers that are powers of 3 means, okay, 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 4. Which of the numbers in that list would be 3 to the power of something? Ah, interesting. A couple of people mistaking this for multiples of 3. We want the powers of 3. Actually, lots of people mistaking this for the multiples of 3. We want the powers of 3, not the multiples. Not the multiples, the powers. Yeah, good. I can see a lot more correct answers going in the chat now. Good job, Thomas. Good job, Gnome. Yeah, good work, guys. The numbers which are powers of 3. So what does this mean? Well, the powers of 3 are 3 to the power of 1, which is 3. 3 to the power of 2, which is 9. 3 to the power of 3, which is 27. 3 to the power of 4, which is 81. And we're now bigger than our list of numbers. So which of these are powers of 3? We would have 9, which is 3 squared, and we'd have 27, which is 3 cubed. So what does 3 to the power of 3 mean, for example? It means 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the power of 4 times 3 by itself 4 times. Good. Nicely done, guys. Nicely done. Yep, lots of people even doing higher who thought that it was multiples. Yep, it's powers. The multiples of 3 would have been 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, etc. But it was powers that we needed for that one. Okay, question number 5. Write 19% as a fraction. Team, what do we think for this one? I can see lots of answers going in the chat. What on Neve, Lily, Canny, Zane, Thomas, Ella, Gnome. Yep, guys, what on VO2 as well? It is going to be 19 over 100. So to convert a number from a percentage into a fraction, we just have to write it over 100. So 19% as a fraction would be 19 over 100. Question number 6, 20% of 80. What do we think for this one, team? I'm just going to give my water a shake. That looks super weird, but okay. Okay, lots of answers going in the chat. Yusuf, Blitz, FN, Zaina, Millie, Somi. Yep. Beautiful, guys. It is, in fact, 16. How do we do this? 20% of 80. Couple of different ways to think about it, but what I would do is convert 20% into a decimal by dividing it by 100 and then just times that by 80. So 20% as a decimal, we would divide it by 100. It would be 0.2. Then we times that by 80 on the calculator, and it's going to give us 16. It's going to give us 16. Okay, question number 7. There are 4 types of counters in a bag. The table shows the number of each type of counter in the bag. There are more green than red. How many more? How many more? What do we think, team? Okay, I can see quite a few answers going in the chat. Lots of people saying 10. Let's have a look. So there are more green counters than red counters. How many more? Step number 1. Let's work out the number of green counters and red counters. So we know there's 26 green circles and 7 green squares. So the green counters is going to be the 26 green circles plus the 7 green squares, which is 33. And red counters is going to be the 16 red circles plus the 11 red squares. It's going to be 27. So how many more do we have? Well, we can do our 33 green minus our 27 red. The difference is going to be 6. The difference is going to be 6. Okay, good work if you got that one, guys. Nicely done. Next up, question number 8. 3 marks up for grabs in this one. Quite an interesting one. Guys, can we please get a quick W in the chat for the moderators? Holding it down for us this evening, making sure that the 600 of us on here at the moment can learn effectively without a small number of Muppets trying to ruin the chat. Actually, there's 700 of us on the TikTok, so 1,000 of us here in total. Let's get a quick W in the chat for the moderators for me. Appreciate it very much, guys. Can see a bunch of people spamming it in the chat. Thank you, Tazamodo. Thank you, VO2. Ronaldo with the W, Morpheus as well. Nicely done. Speed runs and tricks with the lightning bolts. Love to see it, guys. Love to see it. This is our final foundation revision session ahead of our final GCSE maths exams, guys. Blessings all round. Okay, question number 8. Drop a little ready for me in the chat when you're ready, and we will go through it. We will go through it. Neve as well. Let me know if you want me to make you a moderator. You're always keeping the vibes high in the chat. Doesn't mean that you have to get rid of anybody, but I can make you a moderator as well if you'd like. You might not want to because for whatever reason. It draws a bit more attention when you're a moderator. Okay, let's have a look. Question number 8. Yeah, cool, Neve. Okay, I'll do it after this question. I'll go through the question, then I'll do it. Okay, question number 8. It says, here is the gauge for the fuel tank of a car. The fuel tank holds 52 litres of fuel when the tank is full. The tank is currently a quarter full of fuel. We're asked to work out how many more litres are needed to fill the tank. Okay, how many more litres? Well, it's 1/4 full at the moment, so to fill it up, we need to put 3/4 of the fuel in, or 3/4 of the tank's worth of fuel. So we're going to do 3/4 of the total amount of fuel that it holds, so 52 litres. So we're going to do 3/4 of 52. To do that with a calculator, guys, we just do 3/4 times 52, and that is going to give us 39, which is going to be our answer to that one. Now, quite generous for 3 marks, I would say. Really not too much to do, and that could have tricked a few of you up. You might have thought, I know how to do this, but then have thought 33 over 4 times 52. No way that's enough for 3 marks. With foundation papers, guys, quite often there'll be things which require a lot of understanding, and you get marks for the understanding. So here you get marks for doing the 3 over 4, and then 1 mark for calculating. So kind of a lot of marks come for not too much work is what I would say. So don't let that put you off. Don't let that put you off. Okay. Question number 9. Question number 9. Simplify 4e plus 6f plus 7e minus f. What do we think, team? Answers in the chat for me. And we're going to go through it. Simplify this expression. What do we think? 11e minus 5f, 11e plus 5f, 11e plus 5f, 5f plus 11e. What do we think, team? Okay, let's have a look. How do we simplify this? This is a classic collecting like terms question. We have some numbers with e's next to them, some numbers with f's next to them. We need to bring the e's together and bring the f's together. So to bring the e's together, we're going to do 4e plus 7e. 4 plus 7 is 11, so we have 11e. And then to bring the f's together, we have 6f, and then we have minus f. 6f minus f is going to be 5f, so we have 11e plus 5f. Good job, Noam, Neve, Justina Akumilele. Superb work, guys. Okay, question number 10. Man like Billy Boy has 400 counters in a bag. He gives 34 to Samina, 50 to Henry, 75 to Lucas. What fraction of the 400 counters is left in Bill's bag? Give your answer in its simplest form. Guys, I know I'm normally listening to Afro beats, but I've decided to chill the music down for this session. Does anybody know this song? I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to show it on the screen. This is some old school soul, guys. This is some old school soul. A little bit of, yeah. Taylor says, great song. Neve says, add it to the playlist. Guys, maybe I'll make some more playlists. Okay, let's have a look then. I've given a bit of time for this. Let's have a look. It says Bill has 400 counters, and actually, I already read it, so I won't read it again. Basically, what fraction is left? Well, to work out the fraction left, we're going to do the number left out of the total number, right? So the first thing is going to be to work out the number that we have left. We started with 400. We tuck out 35. We tuck out 50 more. We tuck out 75 more. So now we're going to calculate 400 minus 35 minus 50 minus 75. We're going to get 240. So this is the number left, the fraction left. Well, we have 240 out of the 400. It does say to give it in its simplest form. So we're going to type this into the calculator, and it's going to do the work for us. 3 over 5. 3 over 5. Guys, well done if you got that one. Well done if you got that one. Superb work. 5 seconds to screenshot. Thank you, VO2. Moving on to question number 11. Any questions for that one? Let me know. Kayla said, do we get a break? We'll be doing a break at about halfway through the session. So at about 7:45, we'll be doing a break. I know some people need to pray. I also know some people are going to need some Vasa, some water, get refreshed, get recapped. We want to keep the energy high this evening. And we don't want to be exhausted for tomorrow. That's the most important thing. So that's why we're going to do a nice, probably 5-minute break in the middle. Okay, question 11. Ready in the chat for me when you're ready? And we're going to go through it. Okay, GG's ready. Guys, let's have a look. Question number 11. It says the table shows the costs of sending a parcel by the express service or by the rapid service. Guys, they're low key. They're getting ripped off. 35 quid to send post. Come on. Brendan has to send 12 parcels. It's going to be cheaper to send by the express service than by the rapid service. How much cheaper? So we're going to work out both of the costs and then just find the difference. So with the express service, we're going to have 12 parcels and they're going to be £15.25 each. And with the rapid service, we're going to have 12 parcels again, but this time £35.38 each. Next up, 12 times 15.25. It's going to be 183. And then 12 times 35.38 is 424.56. So how much cheaper is it? We're going to find the difference. 424.56 minus 183. I'm going to type this into the calculator. 424.56 minus 183. We're going to get 241.56. Okay, well done if you got that one, guys. Well done to the Chinese writing. Well done to Amber. Well done to Slushy. Good work, guys. Good work. Okay. Part B, it says Luke wants to send 21 parcels by the express service. He does the calculation of 20 times by 15 to estimate the cost. Explain why Luke's calculation shows that the actual cost will be more than 300. Guys, drop your answer in the chat for this one for me. Drop your answer in the chat for this one. Answer in the chat for this one. VO2, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I was laughing at the comment, said, congrats for being a model. Okay. What do we think, guys? Okay, interesting. Yep, underestimate. Okay, interesting, guys. So I didn't actually see many good answers in there. So explain why Luke's calculation shows that the actual cost will be more than £300. So he wants to send 21 parcels by the express service. So to work that out, we would do 21, the number of parcels, times by the price of the express service, so times £15.25, right? So that's what we would do. He's rounded the 21 down. He's also rounded the £15.25 down. So we can say that Luke has rounded both numbers down. So we know that it has to be more than 300 in reality because he's rounded the 21 down. He's also rounded the £15.25 down. Guys, let me know now if you can. Did that one make sense? A lot of people saying you rounded it. We have to say that both of the numbers have been rounded down. Okay. Amber says, oh, yes. Tammy Patel said, makes sense now. Ridik says, not going to lie, I didn't know that. Now you know. Now you know. Okay, let's go on to our next one. Question number 12. Not going to give you luck for this. It says, Ali, Ben, and Kathy share an amount of money in the ratio 6 to 9 to 10. What fraction of the money does Ben get? What do we reckon, team? HD says, man like Ali, Ben, and Kathy is all I'm thinking. Okay, what fraction do we get? Guys, how do we convert a ratio into a fraction? Well, we're going to need to work out the total number of parts and then how many go to Ben. So what's the total number of parts? Well, in total in this ratio, we have 6 plus 9 plus 10, which is 25 parts. How many go to Ben? Well, Ben was in the middle, the 9. So Ben gets 9 out of 25 parts. So the fraction that Ben gets is 9 over 25. Good job if you got that one, guys. Question 13 is going to be our next one. Any questions for that last one, let me know. 13, I'm going to give a little bit of time for this, and then we will go through the answer. Hello, Maria. Hope everything's good with you. Sending many blessings. Exo says, why is Josie always wrong? Yeah, guys, these students low-key in the exams are pretty often wrong. I think it shows what the examiners think. Like, guys, it's not good. It's not good. Mudu says, I keep falling asleep. If you want a trick to get more energy, this is what you need to do. Guys, if any of you are feeling sleepy now, I'm going to show you a technique now to give yourself more energy, and put a W in the chat if it works and an L if it doesn't work, okay? Because I'm going to go through the question first, question 13, then I'll do the technique. Put a W in the chat for me if it works, and L if it doesn't work. I want to see, because it's important that when I show you guys these techniques, you know I'm not making this stuff up. So question 13. So the first term of a sequence of numbers is 24. The term-to-term rule of this sequence is add 8. Josie says, no number in this sequence is in the 5 times table. Give an example to show that Josie is wrong. So the first term is 24. The term-to-term rule is adding 8. So to find the next term, we add 8, 32. To find the next term, we add 8. Don't know why I was writing an 8. It's going to be 40. And we keep going. No number in this sequence is in the 5 times table. Well, 40 is in the 5 times table. So 40 is in the 5 times table. So what we've done there is we've used a proof. We've used proof by giving a counter example. So we've shown actually there is one, the number 40. Okay, good job, guys. Question 13, part B. It says, is 85 a number in this sequence? Give a reason for your answer. One thing we could do is we could just keep going up in the terms. So it'd be 54, 62, 70, and then just keep going. Is 85 a term in this sequence? Another way we could do it is luck. Well, all of the terms in our sequence are even, right? Because we have an even number and we're adding an even number. So these are all even. So 85 can't be because 85 is odd. So is it in the sequence? No. Why? Because all terms are even and 85 is odd. 85 is odd. Okay, moving on. Question number 14. Actually, guys, let me know in the chat. Did that one make sense? It seems as though somebody's repeatedly making a fake my GCSE maths account. So guys, I'll say, if anybody puts anything in the chat with my GCSE maths as the name, it's not me. Obviously, I'm teaching. So yeah. Okay, a couple of people saying it makes sense now. Exotic says, yes, bro, it made so much sense. Fantastic. Nice, guys. Good work. Slushy said, could you say it's not a multiple of 8? Yes. Yep, you could. That'll be okay. Okay, nice. Question 14 and 15, both of those are on the screen. People are asking for that technique I mentioned. Okay, guys, feel free to do this. Let's see. I'm going to open the TikTok as well so I can see the response. So guys, this is the technique. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's going to revolutionarily give you loads of instant energy, but it works. If you are willing to do it, you can also just jump up and down. It gives you a lot of energy. So guys, one thing to do. So if you're actually up for doing this, if you need more energy, one thing you can do is you can actually just, it sounds silly, but I'll tell you the science. You can literally just stand up now wherever you are, put your arms above your head and jump up and down 10 times. It sounds silly, Guys, it triggers something called your lymphatic system, makes your mitochondria function quicker. Your body produces energy and it gives you energy. So if you're willing to do that, do it now. And but I know most people are just going to stay sitting down because most people are lazy. So guys, actually do that. Give that a go. Do that. But your arms have to be above your head. That's a large part of it. And put W in the chat if it works, L if it doesn't work. W if it works, L if it doesn't work. And guys, please put W if it works because a lot of trolls are going to randomly put L in the chat. So guys, W if it works for me. You have to put your arms above your head. Guys, look at that. The chat's popping off. Some people it didn't work for. That's okay. Some people it didn't work for, but most people by far are putting W's in the chat. Yes, love to see it. Yeah. Everybody's putting W's in the chat. Fantastic. Renjisha said, no, I've been doing that for ages and it works. Yep, guys, it's scientifically proven. It's something called, it triggers your lymphatic system and it boosts your energy. Now, the other one which works, this is what I actually personally do. That one, the first one's more powerful. So the first one's more powerful, but this one also works. You can rub your hands together. It sounds very silly, but you can rub your hands together and then you can press your thumb into the middle of each of your palms. So like it has to be your nail. So you put your nail into your palms. You should feel it like, like it doesn't hurt, but like there's a feeling. So you rub your hands together. You put your nail into the palms and then you can clap. If you clap, hopefully your parents don't like think you've knocked something off something. But if you clap with just your palms and you do that like this, it again boosts your energy. Try it. Put a W in the chat for me if it works, L if it doesn't work. So yeah, you have to rub your hands first. You put your nail into the palm of your hands, and then you clap with your palms. Guys, look at this. See, this stuff works. It's taken me many, many years to learn this, and I have had to do hundreds of hours of finding different research. So this is why I'm only telling you the best ones. Neve says, wait, it worked. Morpheus says W. Prince NW, HZW. Yep, guys, you see, this stuff works. Luco says, done it and it works. Fantastic. So there's 1,000 of us watching. Hopefully we have a bit more energy now. Softly says it kind of works. Yep, absolutely, guys. I'm not telling you you're going to like grow rockets and shoot off the earth, but it does give you a bit more energy. Okay. Guys, let's move on to question 14. I'm going to give 30 seconds to have a read of it. Think about how you would do it, and then we're going to go through it. Question number 14. I'm going to get my music back on. Thank you to everybody who participated in that. And guys, some off-topic chat is okay. So just to the moderators, don't kind of delete all the like off-topic messages. So most of the messages are okay. It's only disrespectful stuff or not nice stuff that we're going to get rid of. So guys, to the moderators, don't get rid of all the off-topic messages. Some off-topic chat is fine just to keep the vibes good. Just to keep the vibes good. So yeah, don't worry about muting all the off-topic ones. Yeah, cool. Okay, question 14. Find the value of 5.27 plus 3.5 over 7.9 minus 4.36. Give your answer as a decimal, guys. This is a classic calculator question. Write down all the numbers on the calculator display. I'm going to type it in. Let's see what we get. So fraction 5.27 plus 3.5 over 7.9 minus 4.36. And then it says, give your answer as a decimal, all of the numbers. So 2.4774013. That's going to be our answer to that one, guys. Typed in all of the ones. Good vote. Good job if you got it. So typed in all of the, wrote down all of the digits. Good job if you got it. Okay. Question 15. Let's have a look at this one. I'm not going to give too long for this. Question number 15. Psyche said, my bad, I'm late, sir. No worries at all. You're here for the most important bit, which is the second half of the paper. I know you're good, so we're going to be focusing on the second half of the paper questions. Also, you should be focusing on them. Okay, question 15. Drop your answer in the chat for me when you're ready. Denzel says 3:30. Jonita and Millie say the same thing. Sama says 3:30. Morpheus says, sir, it was my birthday last Saturday. Happy birthday, Morpheus. So yeah, just so the moderators know, comments like that is absolutely fine. It's only if people are putting like dodgy stuff to get rid of them. Okay, question 15. What do we reckon? It says you can use this rule to work out the total hire charge in pounds for hiring a 3D printer for a number of weeks. The total hire charge in pounds is equal to the number of weeks times by 70 plus 50. We're told that Mia wants to hire a 3D printer for 4 weeks, and we're asked to work out the total hire charge. So what we're going to have to do is substitute the number of weeks of 4 into our equation. So total hire charge, number of weeks, which is 4, times by our 70 plus our 50, and we can just type it like this into the calculator. It's going to do bid maths for us. We're going to get 330. Well done, Leah. Well done, Zainab. Well done, Craver. Superb. This next part's a little bit harder. I have given you a while with it on the screen though, so I'm going to go through it now. It says Zahir hires a 3D printer. This time we're told that the total hire charge is £680, and we're asked for the number of weeks that Zahir hires the 3D printer for. So what can we do? Well, we can set up a equation. We know the total hire charge is 680, so we can say that 680 is equal to our number of weeks, I'm going to call it W, times by 70, plus our 50. So now we've been told the total hire charge, and we want to work out W, which is the number of weeks. How are we going to do it? Well, W times 70. This is going to look a little bit nicer, a little bit more like our other algebra. If we write it as 680 equals W times 70, we can write 70W plus 5 plus 50. Next step, we need to rearrange this to get the W on its own. So we're going to start off with the thing which is furthest away from the W, which is the 50. We're going to minus 50 from both sides. We're going to get 630 equals 70W. Next step, to get the W on its own, we can divide both sides by 70. So we're going to get W equals 630 divided by 70, which you can do on the calculator. It's going to give you 9. So there we had a classic rearranging situation. Guys, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to the next one. Any questions for that one? Let me know now, guys. I'll be looking at the chat. And also, guys, can you let me know now if you did the clapping technique and if it worked? So if it worked, can you put W clap for me in the chat? If it worked, can you put W clap? Just because I want to know how that went. 3 marks for this one. Okay. Amna says, yes, it worked. Yeah, guys, this is sick, man. Okay, see, somebody said it didn't work, but pretty much everybody is saying it worked. Verily says, placebo, not going to lie. The placebo effect is a very real thing, but that one's not placebo. That one's not placebo. There's more science behind it. Zainab said, but I did also have 3 cups of coffee, so yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Zainab, it was probably the coffee. If you clapped and did the 3 cups, probably most of it came from the coffee. Okay, most people saying W clap. What about on the TikTok? Let me have a quick look. I think there's a lot more of us on the TikTok. Ah, cool. Yeah, nice. Okay. Question 16. Let's see what we can do. Jones Jagger says, hey, sir, does this live get posted? Absolutely, mate. You just have to go on the YouTube and on the live tab. You just click it, and all of the lives are posted up there. Okay. Question 16. Ah, thank you, Ella. Sorting it now. Any answers for this one? Softly says 40. Amna says 40. Question number 16, let's have a look. Quite a likely topic to come up tomorrow, I'll say. So it says the six-sided shape below is made from two of these rectangles. We're asked to work out the perimeter of the six-sided shape. Guys, how do we work out the perimeter of a shape? Well, we have to add together all of the side lengths on the outside of the shape. So we're not going to include this one here because it's on the inside, but all of the side lengths on the outside. So what are we going to have? Well, we know that the longer length is 6. So this is going to be 6. This is going to be 6. This is going to be 6. We also know that the shorter length of the rectangle is 4. So we know this is 4, this is 4, and this is also 4. What about this pesky little side here? Well, we can actually see that this is going to be the difference between the longer side 6 and the smaller side 4. So to work this out, it's going to be the difference between the 6 and the 4. We do 6 minus 4, which is 2, to work out that that one there is 2. Now we can add together all of our side lengths. We can either do it by hand or on the calculator. So 6 plus 4 plus 6. So 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4, bosh, bosh, equals 10, 20, 26, 28, 32. Okay, good work. Okay, buddy. Good job, Verily Ace. Quite a few people were putting 40 in the chat before I saw. Quite a few people were saying 40 in the chat. I don't know if I said good job. I think maybe I assumed because so many people did it that it was right. But if I did say that, I don't think I did say that. But the answer's 32. So well done, guys, if you did get it. A lot of people put 40. So guys, can you let me know why you put 40 if you did? Ah, that's why you did it. So some of you did the perimeter of one of them and times it by 2. Fair enough. But that's still... Ah, yeah, I see why that went wrong.
Draw 1 times
2. Okay, good job. If you got it. Okay, moving on. Question number 17. We're going to skip this one just because the paper like it came up. And we're going to move on to question 18. Guys, I just laughed because somebody put their head through the door and just said something funny. That was it. Couple of people saying, who was that? That was actually my uncle, guys. That was my uncle. Could you guys see it on the camera? I don't know, but you would have just seen like a head pop through the door out of nowhere. Okay. What do we think, guys? Question 18. The modal number of points. What is it? He said, hey, Matt's uncle. Okay, lots of answers going in the chat. Question 18. Find the modal number of points. Guys, what does mode mean? Mode means most. So the mode is going to be the one which comes up the most. It's going to be the one with the biggest frequency. The one with the biggest frequency. What's got the biggest frequency? Well, it's going to be the 2, which has a frequency of 7. So the mode is 2. Well done, VO2. Amna Zaki. Well done, Craver. Great work, guys. Great work. Okay, next up, part B. Work out the total number of points scored. The total number of points scored. How are we going to do this? This one's a bit long, probably 3 marks, 2 marks, a little bit harsh, I would say. How are we going to do it? Well, the total number of points scored, we're going to have to multiply the number of points in each of the games by the number of times that it happened. What on Psyche said you times the points and the frequency? Exactly. So the total number of points from the 0-point games, well, 4 games had 0 points each, so it's going to be 4 times 0, which is 0. 3 games had 1 point, so that's a total number of 3 points. 7 games had 2 points, so 7 times 2 gives 14 points. 5 games had 3 points, so 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 6, because 6 games had 4 points, is 24. And then 5 by 5 is 25. Next step, add them all together, is going to be 40, 78, 81, I think. Let me just add that together so I don't make a silly mistake. Yeah, beautiful. 81. Total number of points, 81. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot, team. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 19. This is going to be our final question before our halfway break. We are roughly halfway through the paper. I'm going to give you 1 minute to work this out. It says make X the subject of the formula. Does anybody know this song, by the way, guys? A little bit of Diana Ross. I told you guys, we're not on the Afro beats for this session. We're on a little bit of probably 80s soul. Craver says, love Diana Ross. Maybe we'll get a soul playlist out, as well as the Afro beats one. Becca says, are you doing a higher paper today? Yep, 9 till 10:30. We'll be doing a higher paper. Okay. 19. Make X the subject of the formula y equals 2x plus 4. What does this mean? It means we need to rearrange it to make it x equals. What's stopping the x from being on its own at the moment? It's being multiplied by 2 and it's having a 4 added to it. Step number 1, we're going to move the plus 4. So let me write this out. Y equals 2x plus 4. How do we move the plus 4? Well, we do the opposite to adding 4, which is subtracting 4. So we're going to have y minus 4 equals 2x. Next step, how do we get the x on its own? Well, at the moment, it's being multiplied by 2. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. We're going to get y minus 4 over 2 is equal to x. And that's going to be our final answer. If we wanted to, we could write it the other way around. We're going to have x equals y minus 4 over 2. And that is going to be our answer for question number 19. Guys, we are now going to take a 5-minute break. The maths is going to be resuming at 7:54. This is a chance for anybody who wants to pray to go pray. It's a chance for anybody who wants a glass of water to go get a glass of water. It's also a chance to chill for 5 minutes if that's what you want to do. Feel free to ask me any questions. Guys, somebody said the mods are deleting questions. The mods are only deleting inappropriate stuff. I'll be watching the chat for the next 5 minutes or so. I'm going to take this as an opportunity, guys, to say if you haven't already, / if you're new today, could you please, please, please consider leaving a review on the stream, but actually on the Google review. So for any of you who don't know, I've been doing this on free for social media for the past 3 years. I really want to keep doing as much as possible for free. The only way I'm going to be able to do this is if I can grow the stream to being big enough that it makes enough money without me having to charge anybody. And the best way at the moment you can help me do that, keep doing it for free, is to leave a review on the Google. So the link is in the chat. If you haven't already, please consider clicking it. Leaving a little review, little nice message would be really nice. Anybody who does leave one, I'll give you a little shout out. I know a lot of you have already left reviews. Of course, if you've already left one, thank you guys. You know I appreciate it. Hopefully you can't hear the music in the background. Maybe I got a bit excited. Thank you, Shakib, who just left a review. Somebody just left a 1-star review, guys. So now it's actually more important to get the reviews up. Luckily, the average is still 4.9, but quite a few people have been leaving these spam reviews. So, guys, if you haven't already, please consider doing it because we wanna fight the trolls. You know, we can't let the trolls win. Thank you, Millie, who just left the review. Thank you, Ragav. Thank you, Salma. Thank you, LK8 Football. Appreciate it very much, guys. Appreciate it very much. Finna Lullaby says, what's your top 5 artists? That is a great question. I'm going to save that one for the Q&A at 10:30. I'm going to save that one for the Q&A. It's going to take me that long to think of it because I could give you top 10 or top 20. Top 5 is going to be hard. Maybe I'll give you a few of them. It's going to be cross genre. I'm going to go Amy Winehouse, which you all know Amy Winehouse probably. I'm going to go Barry Can't Swim, who's a house DJ. I'm going to go a Sharkey, Afrobeats. I'm going to go... There's a guy called Wyclef Jean who I like a lot, who's like a hip-hop rapper. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Thank you, Zeal, who just left the review. Guys, thank you so much for those who left the review. Oh, yeah, and also before we get going again, guys, I'll mention the study setups. So if you haven't had chance already, oh yeah, VO2, thanks for sharing the list. So those of you asking about music as well, there is a My GCSE Maths playlist. Normally during the lives, I'm listening to Afro beats. A lot of people ask me what I was listening to and asked me to make a playlist. So there is a My GCSE Maths playlist. The link is in the chat over there. Jiggle, I think you were called Jiggle AI. Yes, you can make an edit. You can make an edit. Okay. One more minute, guys, and we're going to get into it. A couple of people saying I can't find the link. The link is tagged in the chat, guys. Link's tagged in the chat. Hopefully it's clear enough that maybe I'll copy and paste it into the chat again, just so you definitely have it. The My GCSE Maths just sent the link. That is actually me, because I know somebody was making a fake account. Zainab says, sir, does your playlist get me a grade 5, please? If you listen to it whilst revising properly, it will get you a grade 5. Okay. Guys, let's get cracking again. We've had our 5 minutes. Moving on to question number 20. Good question here, actually. Good question here. Neve says, the real My GCSE Maths will have a yellow box around the name, by the way. Yeah, thank you, Neve. I appreciate that. Guys, shall I make it a bit brighter? No, actually, I'm not doing that. Okay. Question 20. Drop your answer in the chat for me when you have one. The question says the diagram shows a square ABDE and an equilateral triangle BCD. We're asked to work out the size of EBC. So we need to work out this angle, we need to work out this angle, and we need to add them together. Guys, chat, let me know, what do we know about the angles in an equilateral triangle? What are all of the angles in an equilateral triangle? Drop it in the chat for me. What are all of the angles in an equilateral triangle? Everybody's saying the same. Okay, guys, I recognize my question was probably a bit confusing there. So they do all add up to 180, but each of them individually, what are each of them individually? So I know my question was a bit unclear there. But yep, you're exactly right. People saying they're the same, people saying they're 60. You're absolutely right. So the angles in an equilateral triangle are all the same. We know the angles in a triangle add up to 180, so we can do 180 over 3. It's going to give us 60. So we know this one's 60. What about this angle over here? Well, we know that this line cuts the angle ABD exactly in half because it goes diagonally across the square. We know that the angles in a square are right angles. So what number of degrees are they? They are 90 degrees. So half of the right angle is going to be half of 90 degrees. So we can do 90 divided by 2 is going to be 45 to work out that this angle here is 45. Working out the total size of EBC then is going to be our 45 plus our 60 is going to be 105. Awesome. Hopefully that one made sense, guys. Let me know in the chat if we got it. Morpheus, I'm going to say not for now. Not for now. Okay. Jones Jagger said, God, I made that so uncomplicated for no reason. Hopefully that one makes sense now. Hopefully that one makes sense now. Neve says, took me a while, but I got it eventually. Nice, Neve. Nikos says, how did you get the 60 again? Yeah, great question, Nikos. It's because we had an equilateral triangle. And in an equilateral triangle, all the sides and angles are the same. So if they all add up to 180, they are each going to be 60. They're each going to be 60. That's how we got the 60. Question 21. 3 marks up for grabs in this one. It says, Liz goes on holiday to South Africa. Liz wants to change an 850 pounds. I was going to say note, but it's not, is it? Liz wants to change 850 pounds into South African rand. She wants to get as many 200 rand notes as possible. 1 pound is 18.53 rand. Work out the greatest number of 200 rand notes that Liz can get for 850 pounds. So what are we going to do? Well, step number 1, we're going to want to work out how many rand she actually gets. We know that she gets 850 pounds. We also know that 1 pound is 18.53 rand. So going from pounds into rand, all we have to do is times by 18.53, because from 1 to 18.53 is times by 18.53. So to go from pounds to rands, we're going to do the 850 pound times by 18.53. I'm going to type that into the calculator. 850 times 18.53. And that is going to give us 15,750.5 rand. Now, how do we work out how many notes we can get for this? Well, we're going to work out how many times 200 goes into 15,750.5. How do we do that? We divide it. We divide it. So we're going to do 15,750.5 divided by 200. I'm going to type that into the calculator. So divide 200, and we're going to get 78.7525. Now, what does that mean? It means that we're going to get 78.7525 200 rand notes. But can we go in and say I want 0.75 of a 200 rand note? No, we can't. So we're going to have to just chop the end off. We don't have the 0.75. So it's just going to be 78 as our answer. So we can't have the 0.75 of the note. So we just chop it off. We say that we can't have 79. So we're going to have 78. Good job, Jonita. Good job, Sandra. Good job, Jones. Good job, Leah. Yeah, good job, guys. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay, moving on. Question number 22. 4 marks up for this one, or up for grabs in this one, I should say. So it's quite a long one. Let's have a look. A couple of people asking how they can leave a review. The link should be pinned in the chat. Guys, I just want to do a little test, little clap check to see if we have any delay on the stream. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, can you please all get ready to type clap? And when I clap my hands, can you please type clap or hit enter in the chat? So only when I actually clap my hands, can you please put clap in the chat? I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. clap. So as soon as you hear that clap, yeah, beautiful. Okay, everybody just spammed it in. Thank you, Guy with no face. Thank you, Ray Ray. Thank you, Craver, Ella. Thank you, Renisha, Ryan, Jones, Kiririto. Thank you, Taza. Thank you, Psyche, Chris. Yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate that very much. That helps me very much. So just so you all know, there is no delay on the stream. I get your messages as soon as you send them. And to anybody who it does have a delay, you can refresh the stream. It should catch you back up to the start. Four marks up for grabs in this one, guys. So I'm going to give you a good couple of minutes. But I will read the question now for anybody who's struggling to get into it. It says, in October, Sally drove 560 miles in her car. The car traveled 34.5 miles for each gallon of petrol used. The petrol is £1 and 8 pence per litre. 1 gallon is 4.55 litres. Work out the cost of petrol the car used in October. So ultimately, we're going to have to work out the number of litres that we used. We know that it travels 560 miles and does 34.5 miles for each gallon used. So to work out the number of gallons used, we can divide our 560 miles by 34.5. So this is number of miles. This is miles per gallon. So we can do this division to work out the number of gallons that we use. So the number of gallons that we use is going to be 16.2319 to 4 decimal places. So that's the gallons we use. Now, we also know that 1 gallon is 4.55 liters. So we can work out the number of liters we use by multiplying the number of gallons by 4.55. So we can do 16.2319, the number of gallons, times by 4.55, the number of liters per gallon. And that's going to work out the number of liters. So I'm going to do 16.2319 times 4.55. Oh, 4.55. And that's going to give us 73.855. 73.855. And I'll do to 4 dp again. 1. That's the number of liters that we use. So now, working out the cost, well, it's £1 and 8 pence per litre and 73 litres. So we're going to do £1 and 8 pence per litre times 73.8551. So 1.08 times 73.8551. In the calculator, we're going to get 79.76, 79.7635, etc. That's going to be our amount of money. Rounding it to 2 decimal places then, because it's an amount of money, we're going to have 79.76. We look at the number after the second decimal place, it's a 3. So we round down, we keep the 6 the same. Talk to me, chat. How did we find that one? Was there anybody who didn't get it but understands how to do it now? Please let me know, because you know they're my favorite types of comments. Let me know. Amna says, thanks. My pleasure. My pleasure. Craver says it was amazing. Softly says, I understand it now. Ella says, I partially understood it. Nice start, Ella. Mustafa says, Wagwan. Hello, Mustafa. Slushy says, worst question ever. Okay, I know that one was difficult, guys. Quite a few people getting it now, though. VO2 said, makes sense. Nice one. Fantastic, VO2. Yep. Lots of people saying they get it now. Brilliant. Guys, it's a tough question, though. It's question 22. If it still makes no sense, don't panic. Don't stress. Okay. Question number 23. Let's move on. Oh, and we get hit with a 5 marker. We get hit with a 5 marker. That's a little bit of a low blow after that question, let me tell you, because that question was not easy. However, I will say for a lot of you, this could be a 5 out of 5. This could be a 5 out of 5 question for a lot of you. And for a lot of you who are trying to pass, or all of you who are trying to pass, this could be the difference between passing and not passing. So let's give it our best shot. Let's see what we can do. Question 23. Mara says it's so long. Guys, this one's pretty long. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to go through it. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to go through it. Ella says, is Costcorp a ripoff of Costco/co-op? Maybe actually. It's probably a. I thought of the Costco. I didn't know where the corp came from, but it could be. Yeah, it could be co-op as well. Sorry, guys. Just had a couple of text messages to send. HZ says, and I'm going to use my sweet time staring at the question and contemplating life choices. That got deep real quick. That got deep real quick. But let me tell you, I know a lot of people are thrust into existential dread when they do their GCSE maths exams. Lots of contemplating life decisions. A couple of people asking when the higher live is. 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. is going to be the next one. And by the way, guys, super important to anyone who's doing foundation. To anybody who's doing foundation, if you want to join back at 10:30, that's when I'm going to be doing the breathing exercises and a little bit of a Q&A to chill out before bed. So I would not recommend to most people staying up past 11. You only want to stay up past 11 tonight, or maybe 12 if you didn't do any revision and you are on like full cram mode. Everyone, it's on me. Okay, guys, drop a ready in the chat for me when you're ready. Question number 23. This is a long one, a great one for practice. Let me tell you, a great one for practice. Magma's ready. Mahan's ready. HZ's ready. Okay, question 23. It says Costco sells packets of mints to shop owners. On Monday, 3 shop owners buy mints from Costco. Each shop owner buys small, medium, and large packets. Alan buys 400 packets of mints. 32% are small, 40% are large. Beryl buys 500 packets of mints. 3/10 are small, 1/10 are large. Charlie buys 150 small packets of mints, so that the ratio of small to medium is 3:4. We're asked to work out the total number of medium packets that the shop owners buy. Okay, guys, the total number of medium packets. So let's work out for Alan, then Beryl, then Charlie. So our guy, Alan. Well, he buys 32% small and 40% large. So we can either work those out, so 32% of 400 and 40% of 400, and then take those away from 400. Or what we can do is we know that percentages have to add up to make 100. So to work out the percentage of medium, so we'll write Alan. So to work out the percentage of medium, we can do 100% minus 32% minus 40%. That's going to be 28%. So that's the percentage medium. And then we can do 0.28, which is 28% as a decimal, times by 400, which is going to be 2856, 112. Let me just check that. Yep, which is going to be 112. And that's going to be Alan's number of medium packets. Now, what about Beryl? Well, our guy Beryl, man like Beryl, is buying 500 packets. This time, 3/10 are small, 1/10 are large. We know that our fractions have to add to make 1. So we can do 1 minus 3 over 10 minus 1 over 10 to work out the fraction that are going to be medium. And that is going to give us 6 over 10. Or if you're going to do that on your calculator, so it's going to give you 3 over 5. 3 over 5. So this is going to be the fraction of barrels that are medium. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do 3/5 of the 500 that we buy. So 3 over 5 times by 500. And that is going to be 300. So Beryl is going to buy 300 medium. Now, what about in the case of Charlie? Well, Charlie buys 150 small packets so that the ratio of small to medium is 3:4. How can we do this? Well, we effectively have a ratio division question. We know that the ratio is 3:4. We know the total number of small is 150. So we can work out the size of one part of the ratio by doing 150 divided by 3, the number of parts for small. That's going to be 50. So that's going to be the 50 packets per part. But we have 4 parts for medium. So we can do 4 times by 50. And that's going to be 200, which is going to be Charlie's number of medium. Finally, to work out the total number of medium packets, we can add all of these together. So we're going to do our 112 of Allen's plus our 300 of Beryl's plus our 200 of Charlie's, and that's going to be 612. Yep, 612. That is going to be our answer. Ooh, to question number 23. Question number 23. Talk to me, chat. How did we find it? Did we get it right? And most importantly, let me know if you didn't get it, but it makes sense now. Please let me know in the chat. You know those are my favorite comments. You know those are my favorite comments. I think brighter's a bit better, isn't it? Okay. Okay, having a look at the chat. Nikos says you divided by 3 on Charlie's. Absolutely, because there was 3 parts for the small packets. Okay, a couple of people saying it was really hard. Yeah, guys, it was a tough one. We're right at the end of the paper. It was a tough one. Quite a few people saying I understand it now. Good work, Katie. Giordino, thank you very much. Amna says I got it right. When you said the answer, I was so happy. Hey, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Sana, welcome. Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay, let's go through question 24. Quite a few people, by the way, asking me to either repeat specific questions. Also, whether I could maybe explain a little bit again of a certain part. I wish I could, guys, go through everybody's questions, but just in the interest of time and because there's so many others, sometimes I have to go on. However, if you do want me to go through a specific one again, you can always go back a little bit in the timeline at the bottom. You can watch that part of the video back and then catch back up. Question 24, a Venn diagrams question. Guys, use your pen and paper, use your whiteboards. Let's see what we can do. Oh, thank you, Amna. I appreciate that very much. Very good work. Thank you for the email. Somebody just submitted their setup, guys. So if you haven't already, submit your setups, matt@mygcsemath.com is the email. I'll mention it at the end of this session again. I'm not sure how many questions are in this paper, actually. Hopefully we can finish it off. Okay. Let's have a look then. I've given a little bit of time for this. Question number 24. It says complete the Venn diagram to represent this information. Complete the Venn diagram to represent this information. So what we're going to have to do is put all of the numbers in the universal set here into the Venn diagram somewhere. So this little sign just means the universal set. It means this is all of the numbers that need to go in the Venn diagram. And then we're told which ones need to go in A, which ones need to go in B. And we just make sure that if there's any numbers which are in A and B, we put them in the overlapping section. So first off, the number 1. Is it in the set A? Yes, it is. Is it in B? No, it's not. So it's going to go in the section which is in A, but not in B. Next up, the number 2. That one's in B, but it's not in A. So that's going to go in the section which is in B, but it's not in A. So not in that overlapping section. Number 3, that's not in B, and it's not in A. So it's going to go on the outside. Number 4 as well is not in either of them. So it's going to go on the outside. The number 5 is in A, but it's not in B. So that's going to go in the A only section. The number 6 is in A and B, so that's going to go in the middle. The number 7 is not in A, and it's not in B. The number 8, we can see, is in the set A, but it's not in B, so that's going to go in A only. Finally, the number 9, we can see, is in both of them, so that is going to go in the middle. So that's going to be our complete Venn diagram. Next up, part B, it says a number is chosen at random from the universal set. So from all of them, find the probability that this number is in the set A, then this sign B. Drop your answer in the chat for me, guys. What do you think for this one? Yep, I can see quite a few people dropping their answer in the chat. Good to see. It is exactly that, guys. It is 2/9. So what does this mean? It means A and B. It means A intersects B. So this is the region on the graph which is in A and also in B. So that's going to be the overlapping section. And then what we do to find the probability is we say, okay, how many numbers are in that section? 2. How many numbers do we have in total? 9. So our probability is 2/9. Now, a different question might ask us for the probability of what's called A union B, or A or B is what that means. What that means is in A, so it's in A, or it's in B, or it's in both. So it's everything in both of the circles, including the middle. The probability in this case, well, how many numbers are in both of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many numbers do we have in total? We have 9 numbers in total. So it's going to be 6/9. So that wasn't the question, but if we did get asked that, that's what it would be. Yeah, fantastic advice, Neve. So the best way to remember this, guys, A and B, that's how I always say it, is you know how this looks like a little lowercase n sign? And when you say and very quickly, you say un. Like I'm going to the shop and I'm going to buy a banana. I'm going to the shop and I'm going to buy a bottle of water, right? Um, if you say and very quickly, it sounds like un. So this is like A and B, A and B. Just a nice little way to remember it. Nice little way to remember it. Okay. 5 seconds to screenshot this one, team. 5. Guy with no face says a bottle of water. Guys, I do speak a bit funny. I do speak a bit funny. So a lot of people think I'm not from the UK, like think I'm from South Africa, or a lot of people say Scandinavia or Sweden or something. It's because I have friends from a lot of different countries. So I've picked up a lot of different accents. So like of my best friends, one's from Armenia, one's from Turkey, one's from Hong Kong, one's from Australia. I have a good friend from Spain, Argentina, like um, all over the world. So I've just picked up a mixture of all different accents, all different accents. Though, far more important than that is question 25, which, if you're doing foundation or higher, is likely to come up. Ella said Hong Kong mentioned. I would love to live in Hong Kong for a bit, actually. Neve says W question segue. question 25. And I'm going to do a bit of a speed run for some of the next questions, because I do want to get through a lot of them. Actually, I'm going to skip a few questions and I'm going to go through one at the end. Okay, question 25. It says, Katie invests £200,000 in a savings account for 4 years. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 1.5% per year. Calculate the total amount of interest that Katie will get at the end of the 4 years. So our compound interest formula, what is it? There are a couple of different ones. The one that I like to use is that our end amount A is equal to our initial amount I times by 1 plus R, where R is our interest rate as a percentage, as a decimal, I meant, raised to the power of our number of time periods. So compound interest is a situation where the new amount of interest paid each year is a percentage of the last amount instead of a percentage of the initial amount. All that means is that we use this handy formula over here. So how do we do it? It says, calculate the total amount of interest that Katie will get at the end of the 4 years. So first off, working out the amount at the end of the 4 years. So the amount is going to be equal to the initial amount, which is £200,000, times by 1 plus R, where R is our interest rate as a decimal. So to go from a percentage to a decimal, we're going to divide by 100. It's going to be 0.015. So 1 plus 0.015 raised to the power of the number of time periods, 4 years, so to the power of 4. The other way to do this would have been to write in here 1.5 over 100. So that would have been the alternate method, would have been instead of 0.015, you write 1.5 over 100. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. Both methods are perfect. So we're going to type this into the calculator. 200,000 times, open bracket, 1 plus 0.015, close bracket, raised to the power of 4. We type that into the calculator, and we're going to get that our amount is equal to, let me just go back to orange. Our amount is going to be equal to 212,272.71 and then 0.1, but we can just leave that off because it would round down to 71. Next up, we need to work out the amount of interest that we got. Now, the interest is just going to be the difference between the end amount and the start amount. So the interest is going to be the difference. So we can do now our end amount, 212,272.71, minus the start amount of 200,000. We're going to get 12,272.71. Of course, do that on the calculator. That is going to be our answer to this one. That is going to be our answer to this one. Mia says, I understand it now. Fantastic. Good work. Frishta says, thank you. You're very welcome. Sounds like that one made sense now. Craver said, simple interest is change over original, right? So if you're working out the percentage interest that you got, yeah, you could do change over original. Okay, Amber says, wait, why are you taking it away? So the reason we're taking it away, Amber, is just because this is going to be the interest that we got. So the total amount that we end up with is this. The interest that we got is the difference between this and the amount we started with. Okay. Guys, we are going to do one more question. We are going to do one more question, question 26, and then we are going to call it a day. Let me just check the next one. Yeah, we're going to call it a day. So, luckily, the session later, the higher session, is actually going to start with, or is actually going to be, so the start of the higher session later is going to be the higher version of this year's paper. So it's going to be the higher November 2019 paper, which means that the remainder of this paper is actually going to be what we're going to start with in the higher session at 9. So if you do want me to finish the paper, guys, I'm going to finish the paper, but we're going to finish it at 9 in the higher session. And then if you want to join, I can let you know when the foundation portion of the higher section finishes. Because if for anybody who didn't know, the first part of the higher paper is always the last part of the foundation paper. Okay. Couple of people saying, yeah, please do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. The other thing that I'm going to say, guys, is if you are doing or if you are here with us doing the foundation, I'm going to be doing the chilled out Q&A, breath work, anxiety, stress management techniques at 10:30. So that higher session is actually an hour and a half of revision until 10:30, and then half an hour of chilling out, doing the breath work and that kind of thing, just to get us in the right headspace ahead of tomorrow. Also, well, I'm not going to say final goodbyes because we're going to do another session actually next week, just as a bit of just as a final goodbye. I'm not sure when that session's going to be. I'm going to ask that tonight as well. When's best for you guys? Okay. Question 26. What do we think, guys? Drop your answer in the chat for me when you have one. What is the median for this? What is the median? Couple of people saying 40 to 50. That's the most popular one in the chat. Let's have a look. Yeah, Riddick says it. Maria says it. Jones says it. Okay, let's have a look. So the question says, the table shows information about the heights of 80 plants. Find the class interval that contains the median. How are we going to do this, guys? Well, the median, remember, is the value which, when we line our numbers up from smallest to biggest, is in the middle. So of our 80 plants, which one is going to be the median value? Well, we can do 80 divided by 2 to get 40. And we know that it's going to be the 40th value, which is our median. So that's going to be the value which, when we line all our numbers up from smallest to biggest, is in the middle. So we're going to work out our cumulative frequency. And we're going to check which number gives us our 40th value, or sorry, which interval contains our 40th value. So our first 7 people are in the first row. Then we're going to add 13 to work out that after we get to the end of this interval, we've gone through 20 people. Next up, we're going to add 14 to work out that at the end of this interval, we're up to 34 people. Next up, we're going to add 34. Sorry, we're going to add 12 to 34. It's going to give us 46. Now we can see that we've gone above the 40. So the first one, which goes above the 40, is going to be the interval in which the 40th value lies. So this is going to be the interval in which we have our 40th value, which is our median. So the class interval that contains the median is going to be 40 is less than h, which is less than or equal to 50. Good job if you got that one, guys. Any questions, let me know. Chris Lindsay said, I never knew to do it that way. Yep, absolutely, Chris. Sounds like that one helped. Somebody said, how did you get 2? So we always use 2 because that's going to work out halfway through the data. Zainab said, never got that question, to be honest. Guys, that's a really tough one. That trips almost everybody up. Okay, let's have a look at part B then. It says, on the grid, draw a frequency polygon. And no, we'll finish with the next one. So I'll just do this one, and then we'll do this question together, and we'll call it a day. So how do we draw a frequency polygon? Well, we need to plot our frequencies against the midpoints of our intervals. So frequencies against midpoints. So we're going to work out halfway between 10 and 20, 20 and 30, 30 and 40, 40 and 50, 50 and 60, 60 and 70. All that we're going to do is each of the intervals is 10 wide. Halfway into that is 5 into that. So we're going to add 5 to the lower bounds of each of them. It's going to be 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. So that's going to be our midpoints. And then we're going to plot our frequencies against our midpoints. So against 15, we're going to have 7. So 15, 7. we're going to have 2520. 20, oh, that was 2020, so you got to be careful. So 2520. Oh, guys, I'm bugging. Didn't mean to do that. Not 20. I was using my cumulative frequency from before. I meant against a 13. I meant against a 13. Hopefully that didn't confuse anybody. Silly mistake. So yeah, the first one was correct, but the second one, 25 against 13, I should have said. So, oh, actually, I was going too quickly. Okay, guys, I was going too quickly. Did anybody spot the mistake? Let me know in the chat. Did anybody see the mistake? Let me know in the chat. For that first one that I plotted, it's really good that I did that. It's really good that I did that. I'm not going to pretend it was deliberate. I was just doing it too quickly. But did you spot the mistake? Because this could really come up tomorrow. Yeah, people saying wrong spot. Yep, absolutely, guys. I just was going too quickly trying to get the question done fast. But so, yep, good, Neve. Absolutely right. So we can see on the y-axis when we're plotting our point that between 0 and 5, and 5 and 10, and 10 and 15, and 15 and 20, there's 5 units, right? So 5 units, but how many boxes? 10 boxes. 10 boxes. So what does that mean about each of our boxes? Each of our boxes is worth 0.5. So to get to the number 7, we're going to have to do 4 boxes. So 4 times by 0.5 is 2. We're going to need to go 2 above the 5, which is going to be 4 boxes above the 5. So we're going to do that. So each box is 0.5. So to go up 2 above the 5 to get to 7, we need to go up 4 boxes. So now plotting the 13 against the 25. This time we're going to need to go 6 boxes above the 10. Next up, 14 against 35. We're going to need to go 2 boxes below the 15. So 13, 14, perfect. That's above 35. And then above the 45, we're going to have 12. So 45, we're going to go 4 boxes above. Next up, 16. So we're going to go 2 boxes above our 15, because again, each box is worth 0.5. And then for the 18, we're going to go, let's go 4 boxes below our 20, and that's above 65. So it's going to be up like that. So each of the boxes there, guys, was 0.5. Okay, joining our points together now with nice straight lines. Very good. So there we use the fact that because there were 5 units vertically was equal to 10 boxes, each box was worth 0.5. Ella said, for anyone finding this confusing, you place the midpoints on the graph. Yep, absolutely. So we always plot above the midpoints, which is why we worked those ones out. So these are the midpoints of our intervals. Guys, talk to me in the chat. Did that one make sense? Did we get that one when I went through it? I know there was a little bit of a hiccup. Let's have a look. Thank you, Ella. Amna said made sense. Mahan said that really, or said absolutely. Awesome. Faisal said makes sense. Brilliant. Okay, good work, guys. Good work. Let's finish on this one, guys. We'll finish as a team. Write down 2 things that are wrong or could be misleading with this graph. Guys, talk to me, talk to me. Answers in the chat. Final question of our final foundation paper of the year. Guys, question 27. What would be 2 things that are wrong with this graph, this time series graph? Bloopsy, absolutely right, said no smooth curve. You are perfectly correct. We shouldn't be joining these with a smooth curve, so these should be straight lines. Next up, let's have a look. Anybody else? Anybody else? Somebody said we're missing a 9.5. Absolutely right. We're missing a 9.5. We can see it goes up 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5. So it always goes up in 0.5s. but then we're missing the 9.5. Let's go for one more. Let's go for one more. Anybody else got one? Let's see. Yeah, beautiful. Number one, Hope Stan says, final mistake is that we're missing the quarters, or we're missing Q1. So one is missing. Guys, take a deep breath for me. We've done it. That is our final foundation revision session complete. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant work tonight. Absolutely brilliant work. Guys, can we please get as many good vibe emojis in the chat as we can? It is time for our party. Let's go dancer emojis, disco emojis, party emojis. What a journey it has been. Artie, thank you for the donation. Guys, let's get a W in the chat for Artie. 20 quid donation. That is blessed. Hey, thank you very much, mate. By far the biggest donation there's been yet. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Artie. Okay. Emojis in the chat. W's in the chat, guys. Absolutely fantastic work this evening and over the past few weeks. I know it's been a ride. I know it's been a journey. Guys, well done for getting to this stage. We are now on our last hurdle. Frishta partying, KYN partying, Taylor partying. I can see quite a few people responding to the, yeah, everybody's saying, let's go. Yeah, thank you, Artie. I appreciate it. Zainab says, sir, what's your favorite emoji? You guys know this. It's a lightning bolt emoji. Okay, guys, the final piece of kind of mindset advice ahead of tomorrow, the final kind of exam briefing ahead of tomorrow is going to be at 10:30 this evening. The higher live is going to be 9 until 10:30. That last half an hour is going to be general Q&A, a little bit of a chill out ahead of tomorrow, teaching those exam stress management techniques, anxiety management techniques. So feel more than free to come back for that one. It will be great to have you along. If you're not going to be along for later, no worries at all. Some of you will be getting a very early night. What I would like to do for anybody who's not going to be with us later is, guys, can we please finish the foundation session now by spamming the chat full of our 4-leaf clover emojis, the good luck emojis, to spread the good luck to all of the people inside of the community. Let's get the chat full of these 4-leaf clover emojis. Spam the chat. We want as many as we can possibly get. And don't just put one, put like 20. If you can type out the 4-leaf clover emoji 20 times, hit copy and paste, and then spam it in the chat. There's a 5-second delay, but you can do that. That's how we want to do it. Thank you, VO2. Thank you, Nikos, Hamaz. Thank you, Craver. Thank you, Chappie Tracher. Random names. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Janita, Katie, Maria, Faisal. Guys, spreading the good luck ahead of tomorrow. How many people do we have on the TikTok at the moment? 300 of us. Yeah, guys, thank you very much to those who are doing that as well. Thank you, Tay, as well, for moderating over there. VO2 in there with the big 4-leaf clovers. Okay, guys, I'm not going to lie. I need a break before I get streaming again at 9 o'clock. So, guys, actually, before I say this, watch out for an announcement on when the chill live is going to be as well, because this isn't the final goodbye live tonight. I'm going to go live again once more. Probably not tomorrow, probably Thursday, or maybe over the weekend as the final end of season live. So stay tuned for that announcement. But I just wanted to say that in case people weren't aware of it. But guys, thank you once again. Well done for the tremendous effort that you've been putting out over the past few weeks. It's been a slog, it's been a grind. Tomorrow is our final exam, GCSE maths, hopefully for most of us forever. Guys, good luck. I'm going to say adios, hasta la vista, arrivederci, ciao, ciao, ciao. Guys, best of luck for tomorrow. If you're not joining me later, if you are, I will see you very shortly. Guys, thank you and good luck. Adios for now.